Welcome back to Van Blam. This year, I attended the Washington, D.C. Distinguished Gentleman's Ride on photo duty. To stay true to the vintage aesthetic of this event, I chose to shoot on film. Now that the scans are in, we can relive the ride and see how I did. As it usually does, this year's DC DGR began with a social gathering in Potomac Park down at Haynes Point. Rolling up to these events is truly a special sight. All these retro bikes, all these riders dressed to the nines. We ended up with a turnout of about 100. Right off the bat, I went and introduced myself to the lead organizer, Mike, and the other camera guys, led by Jose. We put together a loose photography plan for the day while capturing the arriving gentlefolk. On stills duty for me today is my trusty Nikon F4S, an absolute beast of an SLR, paired with the equally beastly Tamron 28-105 f2.8. In the late 1980s, this was the world's most advanced professional camera, but today you can buy one on eBay for less than the cost of one Michelin Road 6. By 2025 standards, the autofocus is almost unusable, so I keep it in manual focus only. The Distinguished Gentleman's Ride encourages everyone to dress dapper and to opt for vintage or vintage-styled motorcycles if possible. I think our fleet this year gets top marks. If you want any of these pictures, Jose is hosting them on his website along with all the professional quality digital photos he shot. You can buy the full resolution images, and Jose will be donating all the proceeds to the DGR. This year, the DC riders have collectively raised over $10,000 for the Movember Foundation. A few minutes before the ride was set to begin, Mike took the opportunity to thank everyone for participating and donating, lay out a few ground rules about gentlemanly riding, and get the first group photo. With that, it was time for all these gentlemen to start their engines. Showtime for me. I positioned myself alongside the parking lot exit to capture the group rolling out. I pre-focused on the middle of the road and set my shutter speed to 1/1000th of a second, more than fast enough to freeze motorcycles going 10 miles an hour. With Mike's Ford Model A serving as the pilot vehicle, the 2025 DC Distinguished Gentleman's Ride began. I only had 36 shots and no time to change film rolls, so I just held my frame steady and pressed the shutter every time 3 or 4 motorcycles had gone by. My aperture was about f8 or 11, so I didn't have to worry about bikes being out of focus if they happened to pass along the outsides of the road. A few riders got lost in the crowd, but overall, I feel the mission was accomplished. By sheer luck, I caught the very last motorcycle on my very last exposure. I quickly reloaded my F4S with another roll of Fujifilm 200 and hit the streets. However, I would not be catching up to the rest of the group. While the other photographers were shooting from the lead vehicles, my plan was to post up at another point further along the route and photograph the group passing by me a second time at higher speeds. This meant I wouldn't be riding with the group for the majority of the DGR. They were taking an out-and-back detour on the Arlington Memorial Bridge, which would give me time to leapfrog ahead and get set up. The spot I had in mind was on Constitution Avenue, right outside the National Gallery of Art. Unfortunately, on my way there, I had a total brain fart and forgot that I can't get directly from Ohio Drive to Constitution Ave. Instead, I ended up on 66, leaving town. With no choice but to cross the Potomac, I tried to see if I could spot any motorcycles over on Memorial Bridge. If the group was crossing back into DC while I was stuck crossing into Virginia, there'd be no way I could catch them. For better or for worse, I couldn't see them. Once on the Virginia side, I took the first exit and turned around. Crossing the Potomac once more, I was now able to see a row of helmets over on Memorial Bridge. Good news for me. By the way, I bought this open face helmet for this ride, not to show off my mustache, but because film cameras don't have screens. I needed to be able to lift the viewfinder to my eye without removing my helmet. I promised myself I'd only wear it on rides where I'm not expecting to get above third gear. So much for that. I made my way down Constitution and found the photo spot I'd had in mind. There was a little bit of shade and just enough room for a motorcycle. Just as soon as I could get my camera ready, I heard the rumble of the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride heading my way. While I'd spent the first pass trying to capture each and every rider, this time I aimed for quality over quantity. I singled out a few gentlefolk and tried to give them each a little main character moment. To do this, I slowed my shutter speed down to 125th and tried to match the rider's left to right speed as I took each shot. This achieves that speedy-looking blurred background while keeping the subject sharp. This is not easy, but I'm pretty happy with most of these. When it looked like the last cluster of riders had gone by, I hopped back on my bike and just managed to join the pack for the final 2 blocks.
Quite a sight, didn't it?
Oh yeah, nothing like it.
Yep.
DC's 100-strong DGR reconvened outside the U.S. Capitol building. We formed up for one last group photo before going our separate ways. Everybody who showed up, dressed up, and donated deserves a pat on the back. I didn't solicit donations on my behalf this year, but I got one anyway, so thank you, Ken. And thanks to the handful of viewers who came up and said hi. It's always nice to chat with you. And finally, a big thanks to Mike, everyone else who helped organize, and the other camera guys, Jose, Marvin, and Evan. All your efforts made this year's DC DGR a huge success.
Full face and yellow, that's more like it. Some of you may have noticed that I've posted these and many more of my DGR photos over on Instagram. Yes, it's true. After going more than 2 years without signing into my account, I have finally pulled it out of deep cryostasis. While I do strive to keep social media at arm's length, I plan to continue using Instagram a little bit, but only to post my motorcycle photos. I need a place to put them all now that I've gotten a little more serious about photography. I may also post updates about the small number of local DC moto scene events I attend, but that's it. I refuse to do the Reels grind or any of that other influencer stuff. Anyway, if you participated in your local Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, I want to hear from you in the comments below. Let me know how it went. Until next time, you all ride safe, and thanks for watching.